That's the Lord. That's the Lord. That's the Most High. You know, that's the Most High. He said it all.
Shalom Israel. Yahweh Tipping out Sharab. Yahweh Shalom Yahweh. This priest and officer Malakia would priest and officer Yahweh go in the Lashawan Qadash down for newly raised priest and officer of 5,000 Marah. We're going to be holding the class down for him. Give me a second, YouTube. We're going to see if Facebook is up and running. We're going to get the Facebook up and running. As you know, maybe you just had the Passover. Give a hand for all the brothers that got ranked grades at the Passover. Getting them rank raises. There's a lot of it. I mean, the wild for the sisters that was, in there for the work too. The sisters could have got a rank raise. I know they would have got a rank raise already. I'll tell you how I am shot. So we good on the Facebook. Shalom Akim and Abu Akim. Go on Facebook, go on YouTube. All right, so yeah, we're in a feast of unleavened bread. We're coming up on this last day. Give a hand to yourselves making it this long. They're about to eat some unleavened bread like 3-4 times a day. It's just so natural. So like I said, if you could you write the feast of unleavened bread on the board in Hebrew? Can I do it? I got the word for it. Go. Yeah. Feast of unleavened bread. All right, on Facebook, on YouTube. Anybody got in their notes what feast of unleavened bread translates to in the Hebrew? If you got it, type it in. We're gonna write it on the board for you. You're gonna write this on the board. You had this in your notes. So have it in there so you can know it. It's Chab.
So what's that? I got it.
And once again, this is priest and officer priest and officer Malakia, and priest and officer Yahweh. Over there on the Lashawan Qadash class, the Lashawan Qadash class for priest and officer Barak. Just in case you're searching for him. I know he's a hell of a teacher, but we're going to hold the class during the night. Take a look for him. It goes up. So the Hebrew words for translation for feast of unleavened bread is Chag Hamatazawah. Now the Hamatazawah, the reason why the Wah is at the end. Anyone know on Facebook? Do you know why the Wah is at the end at the feast of unleavened bread? You got Chag Hamatazawah. Chag is the feast. Hamatazawah. Hamatazah is the unleavened bread. Anybody know what the Wah mean at the end of a word? Facebook, YouTube, type it in. Let's see if y'all can study it. Ancient too.
Sure.
Let me give y'all another minute.
So this is like this?
Right, just like how it is in pig. Let me see what we do.
Well, I can't read this.
We're going to go to Deuteronomy 16:2. I mean,
This is Ha.
yeah, Chad.
Ha.
Chad, good. Yeah. Like I said, we had a feast of unleavened bread. We almost at the last day. Once the sun go down, that's gonna be the last day. Y'all can go out and get your cheesesteaks, your pizza, your peanut butter and J sandwich. I mean, I know y'all been struggling all week. I can finally brush your teeth with the baking soda, you know what I mean? Baking soda, we can't even have none of it. Be down to the last day. I mean,
So it's Chag.
right, Chag, Ha,
Ha.
right.
So it's H. Ha.
Come.
Ha. And what?
Mud,
Ha. Ma.
right.
Is that together?
It's mud in there. So that's up, yeah.
It's separate?
Come.
Okay. Ha. Ma.
This feast is for us to remember how it was when we had to live in our Egypt. We had to go 7 days, no leavened bread. We had to purge it out. This is a holy day. All of Israel should be observed. All right, you got Hama Taza. And then wow. So like, you know, we should all be observing this. We should all be steadfast when observing this day. You gotta put this first, you gotta think about this unleavened bread.
Can I see that?
Think about this job.
Can you see
Wow.
that? Can you see that, sir?
Come, sir.
Okay, what else?
Wow.
Hamataza Waf.
Come, and wow.
Okay, Hamataza Waf.
Right, so wow is plural for bread.
Chag Mataza Waf.
Ha Mataza Waf.
Chag Mataza Waf.
Right. Ha Mataza Waf. And wow, the question I asked at the beginning was the wow is plural for bread. I mean, so the bread is not saying one piece of bread is the feast of unleavened bread, like it's more than one bread. That's why the wow is at the end.
Chag.
Ha.
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 Oh. Ha. Chag. Ha. Mataza Waf.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that's
I
feast
just
of
want to put it bigger so they can see.
that's feast of unleavened bread, and the wop at the end makes it plural. If you don't got that in your notes, it'd be a good time to take it down. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, yeah, this feast is a remembrance of when the Lord delivered us out of Egypt. You know what I mean? We had to go 7 days, no leavened bread. I mean, so when the sun goes down, make sure you get your bread. And before the sun go down, make sure you get your bread and eat it. You have to eat one piece every day. You don't have to eat a big piece, because I know you're probably sick and tired of this bread by now. You wishing there was some type of Popeye's biscuit or something. I mean, you I know you're tired of it, but you gotta continue to eat it. You know, one more day left.
If you made it nice and you like it like that, then
exactly. You can make it like nice. You can make a little lunch meat sandwich.
Sweet. You can eat it with some chicken.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Gotta observe this day. We're gonna read about it in the scriptures while y'all get the Hebrew translation of it. We at Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 2. It says, "Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God, of the flock and the herd, in the place which the Lord shall choose to place his name in." Verse 3. "Thou shalt eat no unleavened bread." So thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith. I mean, this is when the Lord. This is the observation of the Lord freeing us from the bondage in Egypt. It's like how he's going to free us from the bondage in America, which is Egypt all over again. This is an observation, and I mean, just to remember how powerful he is. I mean, and what we had to go through after we got rescued from that bondage. I mean, it says, 7 days shall I eat unleavened bread. We at day 6 now. And like a half hour, we're gonna be at day 7. You made it this far, you can continue to go. You know what I mean?
So this is it.
I'm gonna talk about now. You could write it ancient for the viewers.
Okay. Let me come.
Right. This is a beautiful day. This is a beautiful high holy day. Okay. Because this day, the physical thing you're doing is, I mean, casting out the unleavened bread or the leavened bread from your diet, from your routine. Because you're so used to it now, we gotta focus on it. To I mean, observe as how holy is. Like, you gotta focus. Just like how the gentleman had said. I mean, just like how you think about your bread or your job, you gotta put this first and think about whether or not you ate the bread today, or whether or not what you ate in this week was a law. You gotta really be careful about it. And the Lord knows that you gotta be extremely careful because throughout the whole year, what is like 358 days, you eating the leavened bread, you brushing your teeth with the baking soda, toothpaste. I mean, the Lord knows that you're just so accustomed to it that you may slip up. And you may brush your teeth with that baking soda toothpaste. You may eat some chips that got the leaven in it or the yeast in it. I mean, he already knows that. That's why he even made a commandment that you gotta get out of your house so you don't slip up. I mean, we're gonna pull that scripture too.
Right.
So we're gonna believe it. Is that 1 Corinthians 5:7? Yeah, I believe that's 1 Corinthians 5:7. I mean, the Lord already know that you want to slip up. And I mean, you may eat some of that leavened bread during this week. Or you may get the temptation, and you may be 2 seconds away from eating some leavened bread. Listen, man, me and the brothers was out earlier moving, and we was in Checkers. The cat told me what to get him. He said, get him 2 fish sandwiches. We all like, all right, come. We walked aside there. We didn't order the fish sandwiches. Then we on a menu trying to figure out what else we gonna get for ourselves. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get the cheeseburger. I'm gonna take the onions off of it. I'm gonna tear this joint up. I'm thinking, I'm like, oh yeah. So as soon as I'm about to order, I'm like, wait, this joint got yeast in it, man. I told the brother started laughing. They like, oh man, it was 2 seconds away from eating the yeast in the leaven, breaking the commandment, eating the unlawful food. This food turns unlawful now during the 7 days. The food that's normally lawful, Doritos, pizza, cheesesteak, burgers.
Some Doritos you can have.
Yeah, certain Doritos you can have if it don't have the yeast.
Some chips and
right.
cheese fudge and all that. Some of them don't have leaven in it. You just gotta read the ingredients on the back.
You just gotta read the packaging. Can't be careful.
Nope.
Right to the scripture. Scripture I'm looking for, I believe is matter of fact, it's Exodus 12:15. I mean, the Lord, you're gonna slip up and have the temptation to eat the leaven or to brush your teeth with the baking soda toothpaste. Eat the chips that got the yeast in them, or eat the pastries that got the yeast and the baking soda around. You already know that. That's why he gave us the scripture, Exodus 12:15. We are going to read it. It says, 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day, you shall remove leaven from your houses. So you shall remove it from our house, just so we don't have that temptation to do so, to eat the leaven. And break the commandments. So all good. How good. Got it. You got it, sir? Yeah. We got to remove it from our houses so we don't have that temptation, or we don't have the urge to do it, or the I.S.U.P.K, Lashawan. We are ordered. It said in Exodus 12:15, it says, 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day, you shall remove leaven from your house. To remove the leaven from your house is to eliminate that temptation that you'll get to just do things naturally. Like you'll brush your teeth naturally. You'll wake up and make an egg sandwich naturally. You'll use that leaven. You already know that's natural to us. We've been doing it for like 358 days. So then the last 7 days, or the 7 days, and like afterward, you're gonna be so used to it that we just do it by accident. Exodus 12:15 is for us to, not even have the I.S.U.P.K, Lashawan. What I'm saying is, Exodus 12:15 is so that we don't have that temptation by accident. That's what I.S.U.P.K means, accident. We went over that a few weeks ago. So y'all should already know what that was. Now, do anybody know what the Lashawan means? I think I just gave it to you. But if anybody know what it means, you can type it in. You can type it on the YouTube and the Facebook. You can type that in, obviously, Young watch the Hebrew on board. All right, so yeah, this says we shall remove it from our house. We won't have that accident, that temptation by accident. Lashawan is the temptation in Hebrew. Lashawan. You'll be able to write that, sir? Let me see. Tazawah, right? Just like during this week, how you're removing the leaven from your diet and the baking soda from your routine, you could use this same spirit to remove the wickedness that's inside you from the temptation that's urging you to do wickedness. You can take that time to remove it from you as well. Just like how you not eating the leaven or the yeast, whatever affliction that you have, or whatever battle that you have, you could use this as motivation to overcome it. Pull the scripture for you real quick. 1 Corinthians 5:7. It says, "Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye are unleavened." This is not talking about the bread itself. So I get what's on first? And could you write Feast of Unleavened Bread underneath it? Oh, somebody,
yeah, I'm just going to try.
All right, on the board, this is the Feast of Unleavened Bread in the Hebrew. Lashawan Qadash.
What you say?
Yeah, write Feast of Unleavened Bread underneath it. So you'll be using this time to get this wickedness out. Get that affliction away from you, to overcome that battle that you're having. That's why it says, "Purge out therefore the old leaven." Right here. Yeah. It says, It says, purge out therefore the old leaven, which is the old man. I mean, your old ways. Just like how you purge out the leaven from your diet, purge out the old man. I mean, whatever is afflicting you, whatever is trying to come back from your past, you're not trying to let that back in, purge that out. Okay. So that you may be a new one. I mean, so that you can be a new man. So that you can serve the Lord 110%, no matter if it's something small that you're trying to battle, over like a big thing that you kind of going up against. You got to purge that out, like how you purging out the blood from your diet.
That's right. That's right. Damn right.
What's our verse? Some more scripture when we get into the I.S.U.P.K, for the last one for God, I.S.U.P.K for teacher, one of the scriptures. Let me see. Galatians 5:9. It says, a little leaven is the whole lump. I mean, no matter if the sun is small, you got to get that out because it's going to make you entirely wicked. Like I said, right here, it's not talking about the bread. It's talking about the wickedness that's inside the word, inside the person. It's saying a little leaven is the whole lump. I mean, you have just a little unrighteousness in you, you're entirely unrighteous. I believe in John, it says, if you break one commandment, it's as if you broke all. So no matter how small it is, you got to get that out of you. Just like how you purging out the leaven from your diet to observe this feast in High Holy. So like High Holy Day, I mean, you got to purge out that wickedness that's inside you, no matter if it's small or large. I mean, nobody can do it now and then, you got to purge that out. You got to.
I remember, when King David had sinned, that's in Psalms. That's in Psalms 51, I believe, and 1. And he's he's when he had sinned about what he did. So he told the Most High to forgive him.
Okay.
Let him sin out and forgive him.
Yeah, raise up.
And he's
Yeah, the scripture says that if a righteous man falls 10 times, we got to get back up. Kind of loose paraphrasing, but I mean, you gotta get back up. And if you got a little unrighteousness in, you got to get up and repent. Not be a Christian and repent, be a Hebrew Israelite from I.S.U.P.K and repent. That means not to do it ever again. I mean, you got to have the spirit on you to not want to do it ever again. You can't just be like, oh, the Lord is merciful, and just think that you're going to get away with it. You got to really repent and get that wickedness out, because just a little bit will make you entirely unrighteous. I mean, the Lord can punish you for the little sin that you could commit. I mean, in this time of the year, we can use this feast to really focus on overcoming that battle, overcoming that obstacle. Because I mean, just like I think it was Paul, right? He said he had a thorn in his flesh. I mean, we all got that thorn in our flesh, and we can purge it out, just like how we purging out the leaven from our diet. I mean, thorn in the flesh. The phrase I got a phrase for thorn in the flesh is Qadash Baha Ashur. Did you write it on the board, sir?
Sure.
Qadash Baha Ashur. That's the translation for thorn in the flesh. We gotta use this time to get that. So we gotta use this time to Kwa. Got paper. I can write it on the
Kwa.
Rataza.
Yeah, can they? Oh yeah, I think we got Kwa.
We gotta use this time to get it out of us. The last day, the last day of the feast of the unleavened bread. We can make it through the last day. After this, we're going to get into the action class.
What?
Yeah, come on.
What?
Qua Ra. Taza. And today we're going to go over the possessive adjectives. And I believe not last week, maybe like a few weeks ago, we went over the present tense. We're going to touch on that. Ask YouTube and Facebook some other questions. My man, so lovely. You got a girl, Rob Taza. Yeah, you got a girl. Wow. Taza. The edit.
Taza.
Sorry.
Taza.
Yeah, Baha. What you're going to write on the board now is thorn in the flesh. Fight that off, fight that temptation off. Bashar.
Okay, hold on. Let me go to some.
All right, so
you said Qua?
Right.
Qua.
So the Ibaria. Ibaria, that's Hebrew. The Hebrew.
You said Qua?
Ra Taza. Yeah, that's Hebrew. Ibaria. The Lashawan Qadash, holy tongue. Now the Lashawan Qadash, all it is slang.
Taza.
Yeah, Baha. That's what the Lashawan Qadash is, slang. I know you heard that 1,000 times inside of the place, you should already know. It's slang. It's, Baha, Bashar. And for those who don't know, slang is just short. It's actually short for short language. The essence slang is for the short. The lang is for the language. It's short language, kind of concept. By short, right? You would put that inside the okay. You could just write thorn in the flesh, right? But underneath it. Just write thorn inside, thorn in the flesh.
Wow.
But yes, the Hebrew is just short language. That's all it is. There's nothing added to it. They don't use that many connector words. You don't have to really add anything to it for you to understand what's being said. Depending on the context, you'll understand what's being said. You don't have to add all the words in. Some people might say, like, I know how officers of Iraq say they sound like Chinese, kind of. Because of how it's just like so straightforward, so short and concise. It's actually slang. That's all the Lashawan Qadash is. The Hebrew language is nothing but slang. We'll get it. I'm going to show you in the credo.
So, Taza.
Taza, Baha, Bashar. Right. I'm going to get it for you in the credo to show you that it's just short language. You know what I mean? And for those who don't know what I mean when I say the credo for the I.S.U.P.K. Do anybody know on YouTube or on Facebook the credo for the I.S.U.P.K? Y'all know, y'all can type it in. If y'all don't, you're about to learn. The word credo, it's like a phrase or like a saying. You got it, sir. It's so what's up? You know what I mean? The word credo is a statement of the beliefs that guide someone's action. It's like a statement. Motto, whatever you want to talk. But the credo for the U.K., we're going to turn to Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. It's This is what I'm saying. They can read it online. You could write thorn in the flesh beneath it. We're going to get the credo from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4.
This one? Thorn.
THORN. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. And this, I'm going to break this down and show you how Hebrew is just short language, which means it's just slang. That's all it is slang. That's why it's like to Hispanics.
That's it.
I mean, when you that's why we use so much slang, because it's in our nature to use slang. That's our ancient tongue. I mean, that's our native tongue. I mean, the Lashawan Qadash is nothing but slang. I'm going to read it for you. The credo is Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. I mean, I'm going to read it again. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. I mean, and in the Hebrew, I'm reading for you in the Lashawan Qadash. I'm going to show you how it's just short language. It's like language that's just is nothing but slang. The more you study it and the more you go over it, the more naturally it's just going to like fills you. All right, and the Lashawan Qadash, it says Shemai Yasha'al Yahweh Alahayinawa Yahweh Achad. Now that's the same thing in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4, but just in Hebrew. But when you break it down, I mean, once you break it down word for a word, you'll see that it's a lot of words that is not added into it. So like we'll be able to put it up on the board.
What's up?
The credo actually.
I can erase this and then put it there. Erase it. You son of the bird or do something.
I'm gonna try to get it on the board in the blue. I don't. Let me see. We probably could do it your way. That might take a little while. All right, so if y'all got the blue letter Bible, which y'all should have by now, I know all of them arrived to guess it, all the listeners to get it, just so that you'll be able to translate certain words and scriptures and phrases into Hebrew, which will help you learn the language more. The blue letter Bible is a good tool to help us learn our language. And of course, the white man going to have his little flavorless Yiddish language inside there, try to throw you off. I mean, but once you learn how to use this blue letter Bible, you'll be able to get the translation for certain words and phrases. All right, most of our got up on the board. So like I said, we've got to bring this camera around to the board so we can break it down. Say that again. Would you be able to bring the camera around to the board so we can break it down?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
All right, so what we about to go over is the credo. I mean, it's a statement that the U.P.K, only the U.P.K, can and should use. Like, nobody else can really own this. You might have to bring it all the way around. I'm not sure.
I could pull these legs down. Or maybe even just stand it up on the table. We could do that. Give us a second. Stand right up.
And once you break it down, word for word, we'll show you exactly how how much slang it actually is. I mean,
so much
which just means short language. So far away. Like stuck on something. All right, let me see. Y'all can see it. Y'all can see it better, yeah. All right, what's on Kurt? All right, so this right here.
I think it's a little too close. I don't know what you said.
All right, yeah, so I just
see how them lines, I don't know why it's doing that.
It's a lot. That's just how it is on the screen. Oh, man. All right, so this is Deuteronomy 6:4. We're gonna read it in the English. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord." I mean, now we're gonna read it in the Lashawan Qadash. You want to read it, sir? You want to read it? Or?
Hold on, give me a second.
So I guess we have a little bit of technical difficulties, but I mean, as I said in the beginning of the class, this is Preaching Officer Malakia with and then the Lashawan Qadash class down for Preaching Officer Mara for the first half, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Preaching Officer Yana Kwan for the second half. They'll be back in a week. Study these words that I'm giving you, these phrases that I'm giving you today.
Could you push it back on?
Push it back on.
Yeah.
I got you. I see what you mean.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I see. All right, so yeah, let me see.
There we go.
We can all see it. Maybe that's something. Yep. That's perfect.
Are you sure, man? Because I think I need to do it like this. Could you put that over that cup?
Yeah, he'll be back in a week. These words I'm giving you, we're gonna go over the possessive adjectives and a bit. All right, that's spots first to go.
Oh, okay.
We'll go over them in a bit, just so y'all can have something to study and go over. And these adjectives, they're good use for, like, I mean, common day words. You could use them in any sense, any phrase.
Oh, so it's just doing it all over, huh?
Okay.
You see them lines?
Yeah, that's just
okay. Okay. Yeah, I ain't know that. I was trying to get it.
Okay. I mean, these adjectives we're going to give you at the end of the class. Those are words you can use in your everyday life. You can use those words about 100 times every day that we're going to give you, like my, their, hers, his. I mean, we're going to give you those words.
Can you make that out?
That's all right. All right, the water, sir. What's on first? I mean, we'll get into those in a minute. But now we're going over the credo. We're going over the credo to just show that the Lashawan Qadash is just slang. I mean, it's nothing hard to learn if you're a Black and Hispanic because you use slang every day. I mean, you use it in your spirit because this is our native tongue. So Deuteronomy 6:4 in the English it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord." Now we're going to read it in the Lashawan Qadash, and then we're going to break it down word for word. All right, sir, you got it. And you got the mic too, sir.
All right. Shammai, right here. Shammai, Yashar Allah, Yahweh. Well, Shammai means here, you know what I'm saying, right here. Yashar Allah means Israel. And Yahweh is the Lord's name, Yahweh. And you know what I'm saying, it's a, well, it's a, you know, because, you know, it's a lot with his name too. So, so you know, they choose his name. Allahayanawa, right here, Allahayanawa, all right, which means Lord, hero Israel.
It's like our Lord.
Yeah, okay, yeah, our Lord. Yeah, okay, our Lord, yeah, Yahweh means our Lord, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, our Lord, Yahweh, Akkad means one right. God, our Lord is one.
Khan.
So,
Khan. What's on Christ? The water, sir. Oh yeah, so he read it in the yeah, I believe that's Officer. Yeah, we read it in the Lashawan Qadash. Shalom, sir. Now we're about to check our stuff. I'm sitting up here. Come the water, sir. Yeah. All right, so in the English, it reads, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord." And the Hebrew is Shema Yasha'Allah Yahweh Allahayanawa Yahweh Chad. And you break it down word for word is Shema, which is like hear and listen. Yasha'Allah, that's Israel. Yahweh is like God, and Allahayanawa means our God or our Lord.
Yeah, so, like power. Yeah,
right, or our power. All right, so we got then we had Yahweh, which means God, and then we got Achad, which means one. So it's here, Israel, God, our God, one God. Now I mean, and then the English it says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one God." Now, when you translate it into Hebrew, it's the same thing, but it's shortened. I mean, it's just shortened. So the language is just nothing but a shorter version of what we know as English. I mean, how we speak English is like a shorter version of it. That's what the Lashawan Qadash is a short language, which is slang. I mean, that's all the Hebrew is. So once you start to study it and go over these words every day, it'll become natural, and it'll become easier than English. I mean, soon you'll be able to speak the Hebrew as fluently as you talk to your friends on the phone. I mean, you'll be able to speak it extremely fluently. And because this language is a pure language, you don't have to add anything to it. Like in the English is "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord." I mean, in Hebrew, it's just "Hear, Israel, God our God, one God." You don't have to add anything to it for us to understand it. I mean, it's a straightforward language. It's pure. I mean, we're gonna go to Zephaniah 3 and 9.
Zephaniah 3 and 9.
Yeah, come. And one thing before we go to this scripture, this credo right here is so glorious. It says the Lord our God is one God. And this is a lesson. Any Hebrew Israelite group that branched off from the U.P.K, if you left One West, that means you left the Lord. And the Lord left you. He didn't leave you. You left the Lord. It ain't no way that you could have branched off and had a whole new group, and then the Lord came and got in you, and the name of the Lord is with your group. It says the Lord our God is one God. He's not divided inside of all these groups. The Lord is in one place, and that's the U.P.K. I mean, he is not. If you was in the U.P.K before and you left off and you started a whole new group, which is all these Hebrew Israelite groups out there. They left the UPK. They not the UPK. They left One West. I mean, and you can't leave One West because this is what established it all. And that's where the Lord was, and that's where the Lord still is. So you can't tell me that you left One West, and now the Lord is what your group. That's called division. It says the Lord our God is one God. He is not divided at all. So if you left the UPK, the Lord is not with you. If you want a group, I mean, that's not the UPK, I mean, you was not with the one true God. So like, so you got it.
They were saying, we should be on the same, the same mindset.
So like I said,
we should be on one mind, one faith, one,
right,
baptism. You know what I'm saying? We all supposed to be teaching the same thing. It's not different,
right, exactly. We all should be on one accord, one mindset, one baptism. I mean, the scriptures also says, remember what you learned as a youth. I mean, and all these Hebrew groups, when they was young coming up trying to learn the truth, they was in One West. And that's what the Lord is. That's what the Lord always was. It says he is one Lord, one God, one power. He's not divided. Once you left the UPK and started all these new groups, that's when you cause division. And the Lord is just one God. You got to remember what you learned from youth, when you was young inside the truth, before you left. I mean, not to get too much off topic. I mean, back to the Hebrew. I mean, this is Lashawan Qadash. This is a pure language. You don't have to add anything to it to get an understanding. Like the credo is just straightforward. Listen, Israel, God, our God, one God. It's pure. You don't have to add anything to it. You got Zephaniah 3:9. All right, back. Go ahead and read that for me, sir, if I may.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. For then will I turn to the people a pure language.
And what?
Pure language.
A pure language. I mean, Hebrew is a pure language. I mean, pure means like it's not mixed with anything. It's in its natural state and form. I mean, when you got the Yiddish is not the pure language that the Lord is speaking of in the scripture. Go ahead, so you got it.
Like it's saying, it's like you're saying, it's pure, and just like from the Tower of Babel, this is the first language that was on of the face of the earth. The first language. All the other language on earth is bastard tongue.
Exactly, I mean, this was the first language on earth. This is the pure language. You don't have to add anything to it. Like I just showed you in the credo, it's still up on the board. I mean, you don't have to add anything to this language for you to understand it. You don't have to add anything to it at all. It's pure. Can you read that again, sir?
I'm sorry. Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. For then will I turn the people a pure language.
It says you will turn to people a pure language. That's speaking of this Lashawan Qadash, the ancient Hebrew, I mean, the holy tongue. It's not talking about Yiddish, because Yiddish is not a pure language. The Yiddish language, it is a mixture of I believe is a French, is French, German, Russian, Portuguese, and Italian. That's a mixture of a bunch of different bastard tongues all in one, and they call that Yiddish. That's not pure. Even by definition, that's not pure, because it's all these mixtures up in one. I mean, they try to say that that's the Hebrew. That's not the Hebrew. That's Yiddish. That's a bastard's tongue. I mean, what we learning in here today, this is the true language. I mean, this is the true this is the pure language that the Lord is speaking of. I mean, the Assyrian is not the pure language that we're speaking of, and you can't. And another thing, you can't speak Assyrian Hebrew. You can only speak the ancient. I mean, because Assyrian Hebrew is only a text. it's only a way that you write it out. If you speak it, you'll be speaking the ancient. So the Assyrian Hebrew is not the pure language that he's talking about. The only reason why we have the Assyrian is because when the Assyrians was in rule, this is the characters that was used at the time. I mean, and we had these characters. We used these characters to, communicate in our language when we was under the Assyrian captivity. Just like how into our day. The white man is in rulership, and his language is English. So just like how the Spanish use English words, English characters to write Spanish words, and Germans can use English characters, and Chinese people can use the English characters to write Chinese words. It was the same thing back in when the Assyrians was in power. The Hebrews was using the Assyrian character, so like the Assyrian characters to write the Hebrew out. So this is not the pure language that's spoken. So like it's spoken, in Zephaniah 3:9. You can't. This is like I was just saying. It's just text. There's nothing to speak. It's just a way to write it, and we have to learn how to read this and write it, because for one, if you're a trooper, you're gonna have to learn it if you want to become a priest and an officer to go out and teach this truth. You're gonna have to learn it for that reason. If you a sister, you just a brother, a brother that's trying to learn it, you're gonna have to learn it because the Old Testament is written in this language. It's all it is written in this language. That's just a way to write the Assyrian Hebrew. So this is not the pure tongue. The pure tongue is the Lashawan Qadash, the ancient Hebrew that's spoken of inside of Scripture. Is that Zephaniah 3:9? One more time, sir.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. For then I will turn the people a pure language.
A pure language. A language that's just absolutely pure. This right here that I was showing y'all, this credo, if you was to translate this into English, it's going to be more words added to this scripture right here. It's gonna be more words added to it. It just goes to show you that this right here, you don't have to add anything to this to understand what it's saying. You won't have to add not a word to it to understand what it's saying. That's because it's pure. The Lashawan Qadash was the first language that was on this earth. That's it really don't get no more pure than that. Because when it's the first language that's on this earth, that means it was nothing added to it. It could not have been anything changed from it. It's just pure language in its natural state. Like I said, would you be able to get Genesis chapter 11 verse 1?
So what do you think about verse 6?
Verse 6 and what?
Yeah.
Genesis or Zephaniah? Zephaniah verse 6. Zephaniah 3 and 6?
Exactly. Show that he's not messing with the other nations.
All right, you want to break it down and bring it out. It'll be too wild. It'll be a good point to make.
You can keep talking.
All right, so Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. It says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. The whole earth was of one language and one speech. You already know that was the Hebrew, because what was the Bible originally written in? It was originally written in the Hebrew, the Lashawan Qadash. Yeah, so it says the whole earth was of one language and one speech. That's the Lashawan Qadash. The first language that man has spoken on this earth was Hebrew. I mean, you go down to you wanted to read it?
Yeah, what Adam read the constellation, and then it was handed down to I.S.U.P.K, which means from the past.
I.S.U.P.K. Exactly. You know what I mean? And Adam, oh man, the way that he came up with the characters is just amazing. How much the way that he came up with the characters in the ancient, it's just amazing. I gotta remind Officer Mirage to show inside the book each character and what he drew, what he was what he was trying to focus on to get these characters out. Like the eye, I believe the eye was like a what was it? So like all right, Most High Christ. Officer Yana Kwan is actually going to explain how the characters came to be about and like what inspired these characters to be drawn the way that they're drawn by Adam. I mean, we're gonna be getting into it in a bit actually. We're gonna be getting into it in a little bit. So now, Genesis 11:1, it says, "And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech." That was the Lashawan Qadash. That was the ancient Hebrew. It was not Yiddish. I mean, it could not have possibly been Yiddish because Yiddish is a combination of a mixture of German, Russian, Portuguese, Italian, French.
Yeah, the 5 Romance languages.
Exactly. The 5, but they say is Romance languages. I mean, if you in the world, you believe that's Romance languages. If you're in the truth, this Lashawan Qadash is a Romance language. You know what I mean? Yeah. Most High Christ, he said he would turn back to people a pure language. See, he would turn back to them a pure language. That means we had it in the first place. As you see, it says, the whole earth was of one language and one speech. This is before all the languages came about. This was before the French language and the German and the Russian and the Portuguese and the Italian. This was way before it. So this is the Lashawan Qadash. This is pure. This is language in its purest form. That's why you don't have to add all these words to it. You don't have to, change things around. You can understand what it's saying because it's such a pure language.
Yeah, it's not like English. Like English got all these words.
Right, exactly.
And Hebrew is just straightforward. It's just pure, straightforward. So like you said, it don't have all that.
Would you be able to grab Genesis 11 verse 6?
Genesis.
This language is a pure language. This is the first language that was on this earth. 11:6. The first language that was on this earth was the Lashawan Qadash. This is the pure language that's spoken of in Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. And you can use this as a precept to show that the Yiddish is not the pure language that the Hebrews or the Jews should be speaking. You go to Genesis 11:1, it says that the whole earth was of one language. You can't tell me that the Yiddish is what they were speaking in old time Genesis 11:1, because these languages that makes up the Yiddish is not like was not around. You got 11:6. What's on first? The water.
No, sir. Genesis chapter 11, verse 6. And the Lord said, "Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language."
It says, and they had all one language. The whole earth was speaking one language, and that was the Lashawan Qadash. It was not Yiddish. It was not Assyrian. It was a Lashawan Qadash. This is a pure tongue, the pure language. Where's our?
Keep going.
You can jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. Verse 7. Genesis chapter 11, verse 7. Go to let us go down and there confound their language.
It says in there confound their language. I mean, continue on, sir. Continue on.
That they may not understand one another's language.
Now,
one another's speech.
Kind of, what's our phrase? What, sir? And this is where the other languages came from. The other languages, you can say, is a curse. I mean, this is not a. These other languages is not a blessing. It's not pure. It's a curse. Because of what they was doing in verse 6, it says, I mean, the people is one. They all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. I mean, they were trying to plot against the Most High. They were trying to do wickedness because everyone was on the same page. Everyone was on one accord and trying to be wicked. So the Lord confounded their speech. They all had the holy tongue, but the Lord confounded their speech. And that's where you get all these different languages from, like French and German and Russian and Portuguese and Italian. It all was a punishment to the nations because they were trying to plot against the Most High. I mean, that's where all the languages came from as a punishment. So you can't say that the Yiddish is a pure language. Oh, you gotta say it's a pure language.
Yeah, I want to bring out verse 8 so they know why. And well, like you were saying, and then this Genesis chapter 11 verse 8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city.
You was finished, sir?
Yeah.
Down furthermore.
It's verse 9. Therefore is the name of it called Babel.
It's called Babel. Okay.
Because the Lord did confound their languages of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth.
I mean, so you go. These languages come from the Lord punishing them because the Lord punishing the people because they were trying to plot against them. I mean, so the languages that makes up Yiddish came from punishment. It's not the pure language that's spoken of in Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. If you ever run into, one of these Jewish people and try to say, oh, the Yiddish is a pure language, you can first of all break down to them what the Yiddish is. It's a mixture, I'm telling you again, it's a mixture of French, German, Russian, Portuguese, and Italian. That's a mix. That's what the Yiddish is. It's a mixture of those languages. And it can't even fit the definition of pure, because pure, by definition, is a mixture of different things. It's something not in its original form. I mean, it's something that you have to add. It's something that's like not added. That's what pure is. I mean, it's things that's just natural. I mean, so you got
like you got clean meat and then you got unclean meat.
Right.
Like, these languages, it's not it's not pure like the Hebrew.
Right.
So
So this is a Lashawan from Qadash class. I borrow y'all. Hebrew language. We holding class down for Preaching Officer Rob. There's Preaching Officer Malakia. We got Preaching Officer Yanaquan. I got the first half of the class. Second half, gonna go over the Preaching Officer Yanaquan. We're gonna I was thinking about going over the possessive adjectives. I got the worksheet for it here, so we can get Akim and Akwakim
So I could do. You could do some of it, then I can help do some of it. Then
that works, sir. All right, if you could
Erase this.
Yeah, you could erase the board. Bring the camera back around, sir. Here you go, sir.
Here.
All right, so we're about to get into is the possessive adjectives. I mean, these are the words that you'll use if you want to say that it's yours, possessive. Words such as, yours, his, their, and these words, they all go at the end of the word. That'll make it possessive. Yeah, at the end of a word that means mine. That's going to be the first thing that you write on the board. So, take notes. Next week in class, Officer Marab made this. Since you're going over it today, we need to make it over and then we'll go into something else. We're going to go over it today. We're going to give y'all a study. This right here, every single day for the next 7 days. You can use every single one of these words. So it's not even like you would have to like get the camera set up.
Yeah, kind of.
So it's not like it's like a whole word that you really got to struggle to find like a sentence to fit it in.
Yeah, it's good. Can you make it up? I gotta take this or something. I don't know.
These words are words that you can use every day. You can, if you haven't contacted Officer Rod yet to get the 100 most common words in the Lashawan Qadash, his email is maradupk@gmail.com. Hit him up. He'll send you the worksheet. He'll send you the worksheet with the words on it, and you'll be able to use these words we're going to give you today with the words that's on that sheet, and you'll be able to make a nice phrase or a nice sentence. It'll be quick and fast. You could say it all week. You could call your brother up or your sister inside the truth. Speak to them. You could just use these words. You don't even have to use the whole sentence in the Lashawan Qadash. You can just add these words in there, like how a brother would ask you, "Are you good?" You be like, "Yeah, I'm Tawab." That whole thing is not in the Hebrew. It's just one word in Hebrew that now everybody is comfortable with. So these words right here, they're short, they're concise, they're perfect for you to go over every day. Because you say these words every single last day. You know what I mean? It's the possessive adjective. That's what you could put as a let me see. Wait. All right, yeah. So we're gonna start off with the ya. So I'll get Yashala. See what we put in.
What?
You might write the board. We can just write the whole board.
Oh, you erased the whole board?
Yeah. So these words right here, try to use them every single day. Now, it may be a little challenging to use a phrase every day because you may be distracted or you may forget about it, even though that's not an excuse at all. This Lashawan Qadash should be on your mind just as much as English is. And this is your language. So this would be more easier to practice. Like how you know what Tawab is. You probably use Tawab every single last day. These is words that you could add on, to your everyday speech. and you'll be able to learn these words as well as you know what to awad mean, or what to laki mean, or what adawan and akya and akwad means. So like, you may not know what akya mean, but we're going to get it right now. All right, so you could write add to the end. You can start on the left side if you want. All right, so we're gonna put up possessive adjectives. I got it right here for you, sir. You can write this on our board. So, that's what we're about to go over real quick.
So you want me to write all this?
Just like the first two words that was up on the screen.
Which one?
Possessive adjectives. Is it?
The hafashema. Where?
So,
oh, you want me person? Okay.
So you want me to write it down. That sounds correct. And the rule for this is like you'll put these at the end of a word. Like for the first one that we're going to go over is ya. Ya at the end of a word, it means mine. That's possessive. You know, like Akim. Akim means brothers. If you wanted to say mine brothers, you would say Akim ya. If you wanted to say brother, that's Akya. If you wanted to say sister, that's Akwafya. You wanted to say Adawan or my Adawan, you'll say Adawan ya. I meant to say Lord, but it's just so natural that I just say Adawan. I mean, it's just natural. That's because usually I just single letter better. Sometimes in the prayers, they say, thank you always. And instead of me saying thank you always, I say the why. It's just by accident. That's just because I'm so used to saying these words every day that it's just in my spirit, deep in my spirit. So let me see something. I'm about to I'm gonna adjust the screen so that people can see it. All right, what's on first? It's a little blurry. Look, it's a little blurry in the middle. Maybe better.
All right.
That sounds great. Look like it's better now. All right, so the first one you can run up there is ya. Y-A. Yeah.
Is this long word or short?
No, yeah.
Short?
Yeah, just yeah.
Okay.
What's that occurs? You are that ancient for me as well, sir, if I may. All right. And that means that means mine. I mean, you could write that on the left side of the board. That means my. Hold on, sir. Sir. Right under here, could you write place at end of word?
You said place of what?
Place at end of a word. Place.
Where?
Yeah, that's fine. Place. See. At. End.
End?
Yeah.
End?
Right. Come. Of word.
Under?
Yeah, just right there. All right, so you will place these words or these characters at the end of a word, and that's going to make it possessive. Now, I mean, so you have no sweat. Ray D. Garcia, no sweat. You will place these at the end of a word, and then make it possessive. Like I just gave you the word Adawan and Akim and Aquathium. You would place Yah at the end of a word to make it say my. I mean, like my name is Malakia, which is messenger, but you got the Yah at the end, which means my messenger or the Lord's messenger. I mean, that makes it my. All right, so the next one we got is your. So wait, my actually is masculine and feminine. You could put an M plus F.
Yeah, they were saying like to also when you you know how you saying like for if you have, let's say we have a lot of women and one man, then the man is still, because the Hebrew prohibits for women, you know what I'm saying, but the man is still, no.
Right. Yeah. Like Officer Yana saying, like the Hebrew language is masculine. I mean, it's spoken in a masculine term. So if you got like 5 ladies and you got 1 man, you would speak things in the masculine form. You want to speak in a feminine form, you would speak it in a masculine form, because that's what the Lashawan Qadash is. It's a masculine language. It's masculine language. So right underneath the Yah, you will put M plus F. That stands for masculine and feminine. So you're speaking about M plus F. So if you're speaking about like your brothers and sisters, no matter if you're saying my brother or my sister, is always going to be Yah. You know what I mean? No matter if you're saying, my jewelry, and you're a female, it's going to be Yah. If you're saying my jewelry, couldn't change it up, and you're a man, you will still say Yah. So next we're going to go to your, which is Ka. You got us up? Ka.
Ka.
Yeah, you can write it beneath the M and S. Yeah, below. Yeah. Ka. Now this means your. Okay, yep. Come. So what's up on that? That's mark real quick. Make sure that we have this one with all of them. Could you go on? Read this one? What? So
those are parentheses?
No, just like straight line. Yep. Boom. What's on curse?
Your parentheses?
Wow, that's to so. All right, so Ka, could you write the Ka in the ancient too? Like how you got the Yah, you got the Yah, and you got the ancient, and you got the Ma. That'll be to sir.
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, it is one, right?
Ka, right. It's like a C with the. All right, now this one right here, I believe the Ka, I don't mean to take what you're going to teach a little later, but this one right here was one that actually made me laugh. Because the Ka, Adam wrote the Ka based off the palm of your hand. Like he looked at the palm of his hand, and that's how he got the character Ka. I mean, look at the palm of your hand, and that's how he wrote this character out. It kind of looked like the palm of someone's hand. I mean, that's how we got this character. We're like the little crease. You see, it's like a crease that goes around your thumb. It's like straight up. So that's how we got this one. That was funny. Right. He was just taking a glimpse at his hand. He's like, hey, I'm gonna write this. This is gonna be caught. I mean, that's what the Lord put on his spirit to get all these characters out. I mean, the Lord put it on Adam's spirit to look at, to see something and think it was viable enough, or it could be used to make the Lashawan towards Qadash. Just his surroundings is what he made his language from. That's just so glorious, man. I mean, all right, so this one was actually quite funny to me.
You say you open his hand.
Like this. And this one right here. So around the side, let me see if I can get on the camera. All right, so on the camera, right? Y'all can't really see it, but this is like around your hand, the outline of your hand. That's where you got the outline of the kata. And on the inside, like the crease of your hand, I mean, that's where you got the inside of it. It's like a hand. That's what he used to write the kata. That was funny. I could not stop laughing. I was on the phone. I was cracking up for that. All right, so what are we going to have? So that means we're going to have his, which is Y. It's interesting. All right, so the next one is going to be your. Wait, let me see. The ka is also masculine and feminine. So you can write the N and the F underneath the ka. So now, I mean, like I said, you'll have the contact officer Marad. His email is maradupk@gmail.com. Let me just double check. So y'all don't be spamming somebody inbox and any of it is. Let's see. So Ray D. Garcia, Ka'ak is not, it would not be your brother. I mean, because it says place at the end of a word, and that's how you will make it possessive. And so like the Ak is spelled A-H-C-H. I mean, that's how you spell Ak. To make it my brother, you have to put the Ya at the end of it. So could you put the Ya at the end of Ak? Like just Y-A? No, so like on the other side, yeah. Boom. That would be my brother. How you would say your brother would be, let's see, say Ka. How you would say your would be Ak-Ya. I mean, I'm so like Ak-Ka. Ha. Ha. Right. So that would be how you say your brother. Let me type it up for you. This is how you say your brother in the Lashawan Qadash.
My God.
You have to connect the one on the singular connector. Right, exactly. That's my brother. That's why at the top of the board you see it says place at end of word. I mean, so that's going to be your. That's the rule for these words. You have to put it at the end. Here we go. I.S.U.P.K, your brother. So whether you're speaking to a brother or a sister, saying your brother is masculine and feminine, so it's going to be ka, no matter what. All right, throw the water, sir. We're gonna try to squeeze one more in.
I.S.U.P.K.
So
You say your brother? This one?
now that's mine, but yeah, that's mine.
You say use the ka in the end.
Kind of weird, right?
I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K, right.
I.S.U.P.K.
So we got the my and we got the ka. Now we're gonna go to his. And for his, of course, it's already going to be masculine. Because it's speaking about a hate. So for his, it's going to be wow. I mean, right here. So, like at the top of the board, we have to keep in mind that these words were at the end of whatever word you're speaking about. I mean, you have to put the yah at the end to make it mine, whatever you're saying. You have to put the ka at the end to make it your, whatever you're speaking about. I mean, and these two right here is masculine and feminine, so you don't have to change it at all. You don't have to add anything to it. I mean, like how Officer Yanakwan is right now. Although the yah is at the end, you wouldn't read it brother mine. You would read it my brother. I mean, because this is one word. Yeah. Well, it's not one word, but it's written together because it's yeah. It's not a connector. But you're talking about a brother, and you're, saying that this is someone's brother, this is your brother. So you put the yah at the end to make it mine. Or you put the ka at the end to make it yours. All right, so next we're going to get into is his. You can write his. Now, about his is wa. I mean, these are words that you use every single day. That's what? Or you can write his is wa. That's yeah. That's it.
So it's what?
Wa. W. Yeah. So these are words that you use every single last day. You can't even count how many times you use these words. That's how often that you use them. That's his. Amen. Just like how you probably can't even count on your fingers. You can't even count, period, how many times you say Tawaf. But you say it so many times and then you already accustomed to it. I know sometimes you probably say it to your co-workers. They probably like, what is the man talking about Tawaf? Like, you have to catch yourself. Sometimes I say it and I don't even catch myself saying it. Like I would say Tawaf to somebody and I'll just continue on with the conversation. And they're like, oh, wait, what? So, huh? I'm like, oh, my bad, thank you. I mean, that's just how much we use these words that it's just natural. So go ahead, so you got it.
So I think I was talking out, but I remember talking to somebody, right? And I said the Hebrew word. He answered it. He didn't even know what he said though.
So like I think it was you. You were saying
he answered it. He answered it correctly, but he didn't even know.
Somebody had dropped something, and obviously Yana Kwan was like, "Salaki," and she turned around,
as if she knew he was saying, excuse me, or he was saying something to her that needed to get her attention. Like, it's in our spirit to know these words, man. This is our holy tongue, this is our native tongue. You know what I mean? So why is his? You remember you have to place these at the end of a word for you to have the correct meaning of what you're talking about. You can't say, now I mean, because since "ak" is up there, we're going to use "ak" as the object in this breakdown. So you can't say "wa'ak" to make it like saying to make it say his brother, because that'll be trying to give it like an English twist to it. I mean, this is not English. You don't have to say his at the beginning of brother or before you say brother to make it his brother. You gotta put this at the end of brother to make it his brother. It was gonna be, I mean, akwa. You gotta be clear with it, because if you say akwa to somebody, they might find that disrespectful. But you're saying akwa, thinking that it's akwa, you call a brother somebody's sister and not your brother. So not only could they possibly be confused, they could possibly be disrespectful. I mean, U.P.K, we are big on brotherhood, so we gotta be careful with these words. Even though it might not be a big deal, it's still not mean brotherly to, you know, not call your brother or sister. I mean, it won't be that big, but it's just careful, because like I said, you have to be careful with these words, because in a certain context that you use them, I mean, you'll get the right meaning of it. So the why at the end of a word means his. I mean, this is some good stuff that we're learning here today. You can copy down these ones. You want to come up now, sir? Because it's 8:30.
Yeah, come.
All right, with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to priest and officer, John Kwan. You wanted to go over the rest of them, or you got like a few more? Yeah, here go the rest of them. I'll write them on a board for you. Go on, write this up.
I was gonna say dang, but that's okay. Yeah, so give Malaki another here's officer another hand. All right, we're filling in for Marad, you know what I'm saying? He does a great job, you know what I'm saying? Marad, you know what I'm saying? Let's give it up for Marad. You know, he's heavy with this Hebrew, so let's learn some more passages, adjectives. Possessive, adjective.
All right.
All right. Then we're gonna go into some other stuff. So all right. So what else we have to do?
I believe we have like hers or her.
Oh, his. Yeah. Okay.
You got his already.
Yeah. So okay. So his. All right.
Mark this one. I can even walk out with this one. So we got it.
You can turn it over and just try to use it on another side or something like that. So I was doing that. That's how I wrote it. So anyway, so let's continue to rock it out. Let's you know what I'm saying, we can you know, speak it like every day, these phrases. We you know, speak it to brothers every day, you know what I'm saying? Say good morning, you know what I'm saying? Say good morning to a brother or sister. Shalom, you know what I'm saying? You know, we already say the greeting, Yahweh Shamar, Shai, you know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Where you going? You know what I'm saying? Let's learn every day. We speak it every day, and I'm saying we're gonna be better at Hebrew, the better, you know. So, it say 1949, right? The Jewish people, they I just want to say I'll just sidebar a little bit. They say they learned the language real fast, even though they were speaking Yiddish. You know what I'm saying? I.S.U.P.K and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? But they was learning, you know, and you know, and we had the same opportunity. I mean, it belongs to us. It don't belong to them. Right. But you know what I'm saying? So let's continue on with it. So let's this is so we did what, his?
Yeah, we did his already.
All right. So let's do R.
R.
Yeah, kind of. So when we was doing his.
Yeah, we already did his.
Oh,
but we
her.
Her.
Yeah, we sloppy. Her. Let's do her. So if you saying like if you like putting a sentence or something like that, you saying or it was hers or something like that. It was hers or something like that. Let's say that, and you know what I'm saying. And okay, but you can like put what you was putting.
Yeah, what's the word for it?
Huh?
You got a word for it?
Za. No, it's like it's a hot.
Ha.
Yeah.
Just hot, kind of.
Yeah, because ha is like for female, ha. Because that's kind of tricky because ha is but ha is also like, you know, for a female.
All right.
So you like ha.
I'm trying to put this up.
Because when you look, you say ha.
Right.
Man, I thought ha was but you know, but ha is also like feminine. Y is like for a man, you know what I'm saying? Can you put that too? Like just put Y just for a minute, just show them like Y. The word Y, like we had the Y out there. That's masculine. Right. Y is masculine, all you know what I'm saying, and the high is like feminine.
So you said right the high.
China. Yes, high.
This marker is.
I don't know if y'all can make that marker out, but you know, I think we need some more markers. So hold on 1 second. So we're gonna get another marker or something.
So these names work.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's simple.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the line. Yeah. So let's get it in. So you know, it's like I said, her is ha. Ha in Hebrew. Ha. So place at the end of a word. So that's what we're doing here. So you know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing right now. So all right. So just like hold on. And you could have bought this out too. You know this right here.
The top part.
Yeah, the way up the top. Like when it's saying in the sentence. I mean, I'm sure because we already bought this out. But these are examples of like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like this is a future tense, right?
The future tense. Did we go over that last week or almost last week?
We did go over it, but this could be like examples, but you know, like you say she, like you know,
right.
or you know, and all that. Just so we can remember, you know, some kind of stuff. But anyway, I don't know what you can say. Yeah. All right, so
just to use like brother as just like an example of how to put it up there or how to place it or where to place it at. Like you gonna have brother, and then when we go to the next one, you know what I mean? Showing that it goes at the end of the word.
So what's that?
That's her brother. Okay. Right, kind of. Akha will be her brother. My man. Okay.
I'm not sure. Come. So yeah, kind. Her brother. All right, now we're going to the next one. Our. Now we be saying this in the prayer and stuff like that, like our.
Right.
You could go like to somebody about that. 1 second. Could you take this? So we're gonna do R. So we got R. We're gonna do R. Like Nawa is R in Hebrew. All right.
So you say R was what?
All these the brother said all these are in the sense of suffix.
Well, who was that? Bray, D. Garcia. In the sense of suffix, yeah, but yeah, because they go at the end of word. I mean, like how you got down there, we kind of late, but like how you got down there, akha, right? That's exactly what it is. Everything is a suffix. It goes at the end. Nothing goes at the beginning. I mean, because it's not English. You don't have to say her brother like how. Exactly. Yeah, it's not a prefix. Everything is a suffix. So yeah, you is right with that.
Good. All right. No sound effects. Yeah. All right,
so sorry. What was the word for R?
R Nawa.
Nawa?
Yeah, Nawa. Nawa. And then like we could show them like you also the 2-letter word lookup. You could do that also. 2-letter word lookup is also great for a lot of words. You could look up what's this like if you're looking up numbers, you can look up such words like are, hers, his, they. You know what I'm saying? You can look up such words. You know what I'm saying? You can look up all these words on the 2-letter word lookup,
right? And
it'll show you all the even different words, numbers, anything else. It'll show you like the Lord's name and the whole, you know what I'm saying? Whole lot of stuff. So that's also good. And the Blue Letter Bible is also another another source of looking up Hebrew, straight from the the Bible, straight from the source. So started looking up, you know, from other stuff, and you go straight from the Bible. You know? So, the next is. You already did, huh? Your. And then that's the plural form. Is com.
So like I said,
So put in masculine plural.
this one for R.
M P N. Well, with the put your
So like
on the bottom.
What about the R?
What do you mean?
Is it masculine plural or just like masculine?
It don't say it. It don't say it. It don't say it.
I believe that made you masculine and feminine.
Yeah, well, it's slightly masculine. Yeah. But when you it's your, then put F and then P, put F parentheses, put the your, and then put parentheses. Parentheses. No, like this. On the end of the word, put it like this on the end of the word. Yeah. Exactly. There you go. All right. Then write F. Then some space. Space it. Yep. And then put PL.
Gotcha.
All right. Yeah, and then put another parenthesis. Oh, yeah. You All right.
All right, so this is just feminine, and then you got the plural.
Feminine plural.
Feminine plural, exactly. So if you was to be speaking to more than one person,
Yeah,
more than one
like
female.
like the white man, he says, the Jewish man, he says, like this one, when you go at the top, when you say, you saying this one, when you're saying her, brothers, or whatever, he puts a Y in between there, and then, it's a whole lot of stuff. But, you know, let's just stick with this though. But anyway, okay, so that's calm.
Calm,
I mean, calm, something.
calm,
Calm, I guess. So, like so.
like K-A-N.
Yes. Yeah, I know it sounds strange, but that's what it is. Yes, it is. That's correct.
Calm.
I know it sounds strange. You're like, what? It times means yes. Just like the one up there, just like the ha. That sounds like you're saying her, because her means, you know, it's the, like numbers, like when you're doing the numbers, like you did those numbers. You know how you did the ah means one, ba means two, and then so on and forth, right? Because they're in numbers too. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you're like, damn. And then you got math. Damn. Go ahead.
So the con at the end of the word means your. Like, so it would be, all right. All right, so con, I don't want con, that's not.
That means yes or so, but it also means, when you're using, it also means yours too. That's for a female plural, like you stated.
Check the time.
It's something, I think it's almost something like if you only talking maybe for female, maybe
Right.
something like that. Hmm? Yeah.
So to Shemay.
Yeah.
All right. So
So yeah. And then you got there.
yeah. Let me see. I think they already got this. I could erase overboard or just like.
Just give it a minute. Let them write it if they whoever don't have it, they can write it. But then give it like a couple minutes, then we're gonna erase it. Give it a minute.
Okay.
I'm sure everybody, just in case if they didn't got it, or they might have lost their notes, you just give them a minute, and then you can just erase it in a minute.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying, to use these these are the end of a word. Yes, they are they're not prefix, they're suffix.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, these are the end of a word. You know what I'm saying? You also got the end of a word, like you're saying, you have also how do you say this? Yam, right? Which means that's the end of the word, but it's also plural of a male plural. Like you got that right there. Yours, that's a female, plural or whatever. Right there, what it says.
Okay. That's
Which means also could mean only like, almost like only for women or something like,
Okay.
Okay, you couldn't do this.
That's what's up.
So what's Mirage?
Here's Marah.
So you can contact Mirage at
MarahUPK@gmail.com.
MirajUPK@gmail.com. You can, if you have any questions or words, you know what I'm saying, you can get some words from them or whatever. So so I'm just gonna continue with this. All right. We got there in the male form, and we got there in the female form. All right.
So R wasn't up there in the masculine form. Was R and masculine, or just in
You said R.
feminine plural? Yeah.
I don't see R. Your. What's your? Oh, you're talking about that way? No, I don't see that.
I don't see
that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't see that.
You said there, right?
But I guess it could be both, I guess it could be either one, maybe. Or it's just male. Maybe it's just the male, but I think I think it's more probably male if anything. So well, I think it's both. You know why? Because even though like how what I said, because just like what I said before, it's like when you talking to, it's like what I said, when you talking to, it could be one man in here, and you talking to all these women, like you talking to a woman, but then you're supposed to still acknowledge that man. So it's still gonna be in like I was saying, still gonna be in the masculine, you know what I'm saying, form of that. So, you know, so that's what's, you know, just like this. The out.
Come.
So, you know what I'm saying. So. And then you got, so you got there. There, so it's my. Yeah, like my, you know what I'm saying? I mean, excuse me, what? No, you go to my. My is, it means, my means what, but it also means, when you talking, it means there. So we talking right now, we're talking about there. So it's my.
It'll be their brother. So like the method. Right. So this will be their brother.
Hmm?
I mean, just to keep the same spirit of the
So what?
not like a spirit. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, that's all. Just so you know.
Oh, so this would be their brother. You know, is this masculine or is this feminine?
This is the oh sorry, yeah, I was supposed to be brother. No, this is the male form. So put in, or put there, and then put in. With parentheses, put in first.
Okay.
Put there, and then put the in. All right. So you put the so when you put there, put the in there to show that no, could you like erase this real fast or something, like just erase, you know, you, and then just do that, and then right, and then you put in, yeah, right, and then finish the top. So they know this, you know what I'm saying? If you put the in there, they're going, what's that for? You know, they're not going to understand something, you know, they might misunderstand. So just in case, you know. So this is there, and then this is masculine, and then my, which it means, you know, that, you know, there. This is the male, you know, just like that.
What, sorry?
You know, you could show them.
Oh yeah, that was up to what?
All right, good. So yeah, so you know, yeah, so okay, so this is right here, there, then you got masculine, and then then I'm about to do the you got the feminine. You got the feminine, this is a feminine too. Well, but this is the male one. My, this is in there. My, okay. So okay, could you do the with the feminine one?
What is it?
The feminine there, just put there and then the feminine. The F. Oh, you know? Okay. No, that's too hot. Okay, oh yeah, and then it's so that's nah. See how that sounds so similar? Nah. Like it, like just sound like the Hebrew, like nah, sa, pa, isa, wa, ra, shata. So it's you know. Okay, so yeah, so you want to slow? Yeah, sure. You just point to it.
All right, so with these words, like at the beginning, what we said, I mean, you will place these at the end of a word, and once this is at the end of a word,
that is what makes it mean their in the masculine or the feminine. So ma at the end of the word ak, which is brother, ma at the end would mean their brother, but it would be speaking about men. So it would say their brother, it would be men. And with the feminine, it'll be the same thing, like ak na. It's saying their brother, but it's speaking about women. I mean, so that's what that's how you place all of the words. So the word may have a different meaning, but once you place it at the end of a word, that is what makes it a possessive adjective. And that would mean, in this case, the ma at the end of a word means their. I mean, so in this case right here, it would mean their brother. So that's just the tools for that. So.
Okay, give Malaki a hand. Look, most high first. So Sean. So what time is it?
Like we got a few.
Yeah, 8:40. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get some more words now. Huh? Yeah, this is it.
Why was it?
Yeah, okay. So could you give me the Hebrew book there, Simon? And underline.
I actually had it in my bag. I had it inside my bag.
Oh, you left it back home. Okay. So yeah. Hold on, accident.
Right, I was with Captain the car.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Slakia, you want to get like and do some like one verse of scripture or something?
Something so I you can put it on the screen with the words.
All right. So which one you want to do? Passover or something? I mean, Passover or something. Something you want.
I do like that, you know. I do like you know, but we can do a long verse if you want.
All right, we can do that. Could you pull it up for me or something? Do I do it? Because I don't know how to do it. So. Oh, like that, why it's on the camera. So, come on. So yeah, so you want to say something?
No, yeah, I was about to say something. Sorry. All right, so what we're going to do here is pull up a scripture, and we're going to read a verse in the Lashawan Qadash, as it is in Lashawan Qadash class. We're going to pull up a verse. Right here, we're trying to decide on which verse we should read in the Lashawan Qadash. If someone has a specific verse that they would like us to read, you can comment in. But you gotta do it quick, because if we find a verse before you type it in. But I believe somebody in there before typed the verse, and it was like First Corinthians. First Corinthians something, but we just want to bring up
Matthew 15. Yeah, come. We can do that. So yeah, and then we can point out the like the feminine form, whether it's feminine form or masculine form. You know, also.
We made
which one is it? Oh, yes, it's past the hour.
So like we may have to wrap it up because it's past the hour.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah.
You know, a few things to take care of outside of school.
Well, just give it a couple of minutes. So it's not. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You have to pass the class for us.
It's coming to the end of Lashawan Qadash. All right. So if anybody want like any other words, you can contact Marah at
Marah U.P.K.
Marah U.P.K. at gmail.com. So that's Marah U.P.K. at
gmail.com.
gmail.com. Sorry. So this is the end of Lashawan Qadash. The water to brothers and sisters that join in today. The water. Let's get our hands. Turn the class the hands over to priest and officer Malakia.
You want this?
Just put it down here like this and like this.
I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We got I.S.U.P.K. started out on 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are be to saluted only. They are here to shut themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will quote each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in Hebrew, ma'aishara. So like 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the teacher. Priest fund, a free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, but we're actually in the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We're going to wrap it up with a feast tomorrow at sundown. You could read about that. You could read about that in Exodus chapter 12, verse 17 through 20, and Leviticus chapter 23, verse 68. All right, so remind Akim and Akwaz to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf, and with that, Amaju, which means to stand.
These are going to play real fast and then
Kind of smart.
then we just head out. What's in here? You know about her, right?
Not the Hebrew. I got my phone.
Okay, well, I know about heart, but if you want to go ahead and do it like that.
All right, we're going to do the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. All right. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Qadash.
Qadash.
All right. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Qadash.
Qadash.
I.S.U.P.K. Yahweh. Malakutka. Taba'ah. Batazaka. Aisha. Baratiza. Kawa. Bashamayim. Thundam. Lacham. Ka. Yewam. Wasalaknawa. Kabawaknawa. Hasalaknawa. Kabawak Yinawa. Mala'ah. Tabi'aynawa. Banasaya 1.
one.
Abo,
Abo,
Awashayna,
Ayashayna,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Ra,
Ra,
Kaya,
Aya,
Laka,
Laka,
Malakwa,
Lakwa,
Wa'ala,
Ha'ala,
Watapara,
Ha'ala,
Hawalamim,
Ha'ilani,
Aman.
Aman. All right, what we just said was, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Son. Well, it's not. All right, we're gonna give one courtesy salute.
Okay. Madam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh Shabbat, just hand down. Sir, turn the sister out of the room. Madam Shabbat, so like it. The sisters, your feet would be at a 45-degree angle with your heels connecting and your feet spread out. Like this, your right hand over your left hand, your head bowed down. And once you say Barak, you put your right hand over your chest and salute back. All right, men of Israel, Madam Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Ba'ashem Yahushua. So like it, for the brothers, what we said was the Most High watch over you in the name of Christ. And for the sisters, Yahweh Shema, Ba'ashem Yahushua means the Most High bless you in the name of Christ. Yahweh Matah, was that class dismissed? Water for all the brothers and sisters joining in. Study these words, say them every single last day. Amen. Yahweh Shemora, Yahweh Ba'ashem Shabbat, Yahweh Shemora, Ba'ashem Shabbat. All right. How you say good night? You say how you say good night?